this. How did you get to this point?
That's a good one. When I get the chart up first, then go from there.
Sounds good.
All right. So there's no single thing I want to show you, but here goes nothing. Let's go. Can you see my screen?
I can. Looks nice and clean.
Yeah. So I'm just going to modify my chart a little bit.
Can we do that? Give me one moment.
Sure.
This looks a little dark. Now it looks better in my room. Oh, in the living room. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you can see my chart, right?
Yes.
So I got 3 magical lines on my computer right now, on my chart. I have a 200-day moving average, that's the purple.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a Dacian channel, which is fancy talk for the top line is the highest price in the last month. The bottom line is the lowest price in the last month. So as you can see, I'll just use an example.
And can you
This
make them
price,
thicker? Because
sorry,
it's hard to see. Can you make them thicker?
make the lines thicker.
Yeah. Okay, you know
All
what?
right.
Was this
No, no.
no actually go back where it says upper? No. Go back to inputs. Wait, go back to where you were. I want to show you something that you may not know.
I may not know it. All right, here I am.
So go to inputs or
Yep.
style then. Style.
Mm-hmm.
You see the blue line? Like the box is blue? Yeah, click it. Go to the bottom.
Oh,
How's that?
I did not know that.
Oh. It
Sucks to
works
be
on
me.
mobile screens, so it's easier to just look.
All right.
Anyway.
So here we have it. As you can see, the bottom of this candle right here perfectly corresponds with that blue line and with the lower blue line.
Yep.
And you can
I
also
see it.
see here, the top of this candle perfectly corresponds with that. All right. So let's get to the party. What is the Holy Grail? I'm asking you this question, Justin. What is the Holy Grail in trading?
One and two scenes. Profit and taking alpha.
Did you say
Which is
taking
more or less
a
the same.
profit?
Part?
Did you say taking a profit?
Taking profit, then alpha as the second one.
What's the second one?
Alpha like alpha, beta, gamma.
Oh, okay.
This means fancy.
I am going to disagree with you. From every trader that I talk to, of course, then again, I'm only dealing with amateur traders as opposed to professionals. The
Mm-hmm.
Holy Grail is making an income. So if you
Well,
wanted to make an income, you have to have consistently profitable trades.
yeah.
All right. So you
Yes, I
can't have a
agree with that.
profitable trade once in a blue moon. You have to have profitable trades regularly.
Yeah, it makes sense because
All right. So now that we talked about that, there's also this little insignificant little thing about also making money. There's also this is an insignificant little thing about making money easily. So if you had to spend all day and all night at it, then hooray, that's a job. But what people really want to do is they want to set and forget.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. So I'm going to walk you through a quick observation, and then you are going to ask a lot of questions. May I begin?
Go ahead. Let's see where we go.
So this
By
is
the way,
SPY.
you did show me this earlier, but I know you're setting that up for everyone else.
All right. So this is SPY. Okay. So I want 0.5%. Not a full percent, 0.5%. And I'll explain that in a moment. So if I buy here at the open, boom, the next day I'm going to have my
Point.
0.5%.
Yeah.
Right there. So if I just put a market order on the open and my take profit is 0.5%, there it is. If you're wondering what my stop loss is, it's very simple. It's the 200 moving average. So I just made a profit right there. I just made a profit there. Not so bad. And not so bad, huh?
No, you're way on the first go.
All right. So I want another 0.5%. Okay. So I'm opening up here. So that day it only went up a maximum of 0.2%. Oh, look at that.
Never
If I
half a
held it
percent.
if I held it as if before the end of the day of the next trading day, I would have gotten my 0.5%.
Right.
Boom. If I bought at the open, I got my
You
half
can
a
sell.
percent right
Yeah.
there. If I buy at the open, guess what I got? Well, this today would have been a full percent move, but I still would have gotten my 0.5% if I wanted it.
Right. That was a good day if you were going for 0.5%. You can go
Yeah,
by what
it'd been
take
easy
off
for
as
today.
much.
So if you look at this right here, there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. I would have booked a profit on. I would have booked a 1, 2. I would have booked 3 profitable trades in that trading week.
Yeah. And
All right.
it's not an amazing week either, but it's a good week.
All right. Sorry, what was that about not it being not a great week?
Well, it is a good week if you're out for about a 0.5%. You happen to smash your week.
All right. So let's talk about that. It's a great week if you're out for 0.5%. So Justin, fill in the blank. If I made blank dollars a week, I would be a happy person. And I mean every week. Of today's money, and we'll adjust for inflation later. So what's that number? $1,000, $2,000, $10,000?
In a week?
Yeah.
That makes you happy? Let's say 1,000.
Sorry?
1,000.
1,000. So if
It's
you
not
wanted to
bad.
make, sorry?
$1,000 is
So
not bad.
to make $1,000 a week, and by the way, this is American, right? So $1,000 a week in 3 trades, you would have to have made $333 a trade. If you're only making 0.5% per trade, that means you have to have an account size of, drum roll please, $66,000.
So it within possibilities, but not much for you. Most people won't do that
Well, hold on,
per trade. I mean,
you don't give me enough credit. What's the possibility of me having an answer to your question?
well, I know you have used margin before, and would that be a consideration?
Well, there's a problem with margin. You can't trade that in an RSP account. You can't trade that in an RESP account. You can't trade that unless you have a margin account. So you of course know this. A lot of people don't have margin accounts.
Because it's too risky. Well, consider it too
Wow.
risky. Consider it too risky. Let's put it that way.
Okay. It's considered too risky. So you know what? You just went down a rabbit hole. So let's spend 2 minutes on this tangent. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Is gambling at a casino risky?
Yes, I agree with that statement.
All right. Is owning this the very same casino risky?
Hell no. House always
Okay,
wins.
hold on. How so you now you need to answer the question, the $1 million question. If one side is risky and the other side is not, what's the difference?
You own the asset.
Nope. Because
You control it
technically the
then.
gambler could be a really good gambler and burn the casino down with all the profits that gambler makes.
Then it's control.
Sorry?
Control
Control of what?
of the assets or the
Nope.
business. If you,
Nope. The odds.
okay,
The
that
only thing that differs between the gambler and the casino are the odds. And the casino controls the rules, which means they control the
the the
odds.
put the odds. Yeah.
I mean, just look at the roulette wheel. I'm going to digress for a little bit longer. Roulette wheel. Most people think that the roulette wheel, the odds are 50-50. They're not. And the reason why
No.
they're not 50-50 is because of the double zeros. Zero
Yeah.
and there it is. Zero and double zero. So automatically, the odds of hitting 50-50 are no longer 50-50. The casino is allowed to add these two buggers in there, and the odds are just tipped right in their favor. So you're right, it is control, but it's not control of the assets, it's control of the rules, and the rules dictate the odds.
Okay. That's a shaving down your fine hairs, but yeah, that's your weight. I don't disagree with you either.
So when we're talking about trading, it's only risky if the odds are not in your favor. So the key to all of this is to take only trades that the odds are in your favor. As soon as the trades are not, as soon as the trading criteria is no longer in your favor, you know what you do?
Stop placing trades,
You got it. So
or
here,
if
let's
you're, or you can start selling, which is start selling if you're wanting to do that, or you're able to do that.
all right. So we're going to talk about that for a moment. We're not going to short sell. And the reason why we're not going to short sell is because, first of all, Edmond doesn't know how to do so with the probability in our favor,
Okay.
and I don't. And number two is, why don't we just stay on this topic for now? So I will stay on this topic for now because I don't know how to answer your other question. I don't know the good odds in shorting. There you go. All right. So you said $66,000. I don't really have $66,000, and by the way, for the record, neither do I. So you said margin account. Well, what happens if you don't have a margin account? Are you ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Triple leverage ETFs.
Okay, that's another way of leverage. Without like you're buying an asset, you're not going to into debt. For the
All
people who
right, so we have
are
a triple leverage ETF right now. And what's Edmund's number one rule about trading any stock, anything? The asset has to be above
the 200
the
moving,
200 moving day. So we start right here now. All right. So let's go. All right. We're not going for 0.5% anymore. We're going to go for 1%. How's that sound?
sure, that's doable with double or triple.
This is a triple ETF.
Okay, so it's 3 times. Okay.
Yeah. Triple leverage. So there it is right there. You buy at the open before the close, you get to 1.21. So we're going to hit our 1%. You guessed it.
Right
We're going to hit
away
our 1%.
in that day.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Next day is a 1.5% move. Guess what we got?
One and a
One
half
percent.
percent.
Well, we could have gotten 100%, but I'm not that good in reading into the future. I just want my 1%, so I got my 1%.
Sure, fair enough.
That's a 1.38. That's a 1.38. Not bad. All right. Oh, if I bought the open, this asset would have closed on 1.5% down. Okay.
Yeah.
But I want my 1%. So where's my 1%? My 1% is somewhere around $94.60. So somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For the record, you might need a number of accounts to do this, but let's pretend that you do. Okay. So this trade is now open, and yours are gonna have to leave it open. We have a new trade now.
So
All
you
right, we
close it
have a
or
new
leave it
trade.
open in this
We have to
case?
leave this open. All right, we don't close it. And I'll talk about why we're going to open multiple trades, but we don't close this one. All right, this is a red candle. This is a red candle. And we know that indices are historically strong. Do you know why we know that?
No, I know the answer that I've been given because they killed the users and hired the strong ones. It's
Yep.
very bad.
So that's where we are right now. And can you see the Great Depression? That's right. It's right there. The
Yeah,
Great
it's
Depression doesn't
minor.
even register. Doesn't even register anymore. All right. Wait. Where's 2008? Right there. Where's dot bomb? Right there. If you squint your eyes really carefully, you'll see COVID
Yeah, I see COVID from.
right there. And this is the Russian-Ukrainian war.
Then I had him back. Well, I miscounted him, but anyway, yeah, I saw it before you zoomed
Yeah.
in.
So this is why I can't short. This entire thing called an index is rigged to go up. Rigged. As soon as you remove all your losers, you're only left with your winners. And your winners, especially your mega winners like Nvidia, are cheaters.
We could suck itself, or are you talking about the index?
The company. And so the stock, the index is simple. You remove the losers, you only have the winners left. In terms of the company itself, they're cheaters.
In which way?
All right. What do you think Facebook would do to somebody starting another social media company thingamabob? They would run them. They would run them out of business.
Or buy them up?
Buy them up, run them out of business. All right, yeah. Google owns 90% of all search in the world. 90%. It won't surprise you to know that Baidu, which is protected by China.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Owns
wait,
10.
but what is that? It's protected by China, meaning that the Chinese government does not allow Google on Chinese internet. So
Mm-hmm.
Baidu only exists because China has prevented Google from entering China. By
Wait.
the way, Yahoo is not allowed in China either.
So is there a secondary search engine outside of Baidu for the Chinese market?
Yeah, and it sucks. It's called Bing.
Microsoft. I'm surprised.
But what's my point? If Google owns internet search around the world.
Yeah,
So they would wipe out Baidu without what they would not hesitate to wipe out Baidu.
it had a chance. Yeah.
But it doesn't have a chance because the Chinese rigged the game against them. In the
Wait.
same way that Google rigged the game against all the other search engines. So I can keep on going. So what do you think would happen to Nvidia if there were other chip manufacturers that can produce GPUs. Well, they would not have such a monopoly. But what have they done? They found ways to make it practically impossible.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
called
very
patent trolling. Sorry?
called what?
Called patent trolling,
Okay.
right? Here, let me ask you this: how many companies in this world manufacture the GLP-1 drug that most people call Ozempic? The answer is maybe four. I think it's only two.
Wait. But so
What
here's a
do you think they share the recipe to that dish?
not yet until they're forced to because of some patent involved. But for now,
Well,
yes,
I can
they're
already tell you. I can already tell you which patent law that is. It's called 20 years. Most international patents only last for 20 years.
exactly after 20 years they can do what we can if we wanted to. We can pick it up and make it. But
All right, here's a good one for you. Insulin. Everybody knows how to make insulin. How many companies actually have the capability of doing it?
not as many. Probably 4 in the world. Taking a while stop there.
How many companies manufacture medical grade insulin?
More from
10 to
what I
12
thought.
internationally.
That's more from what I thought it was.
Oh, wait. Oh.
The big three control 90% of the worldwide production. Sorry, of
So
the
these guys right
market
here
volume.
own 90% of the insulin market. All right, my point is very simple. You drop the losers, you only have winners, so the index goes up. And then when you put on, but who are the biggest winners? They're the biggest cheaters. The biggest winners are the biggest cheaters.
Yes.
All right. So then the market goes screaming up. So do you really want to short that? Do you really want to short that? I'm not that good. I'd rather short a loser.
Yeah,
Shorting
and
winners
that's not a
is a
loser by
really
any.
bad idea.
Yeah. But you said you did something with some kind of code of ChatGPT. Is this, did you, I know you did come across like this formula before with, uh, with
Wow.
ChatGPT, but have you made any insights?
Yes. Guess where this? Guess how I built the algorithm for this? ChatGPT. I had
Okay.
an idea. I threw it in ChatGPT and approved it. So it proved that. Are you ready for this? Yeah.
Yeah, those are good winners.
Yeah. Yeah. I found out that getting 1% out of the market
Oh.
is actually not as hard as you might think it is.
You know, an open right there.
Sorry?
Sorry, not open.
The gap up.
Yeah, it's a pretty for this purpose. It's a nice gap up for you.
And that's just that. Look at this. Look at this right here. What's the low here? The low here is $90.93. On the Dotchin channel, it is $91. So we got an entry right there. My God, look at that.
Nice move right there.
Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see. There it is right there. My God, look at that baby go. Look at that baby go. Baby,
Also,
don't be
like to do
scared.
side channel to side channel. What you're trying to tell me.
That's
It
right.
happens on a regular, somewhat regular basis.
Well, on an index, it's a very regular basis. You can keep on going. I mean, it doesn't always work. because here it didn't work right here. But at the same time, look what did work. The stop loss.
You get
Right
stopped
there.
out of the super moving average.
That's right. Look at that. Look at that. I have a 9% win right before an 8% loss. Or sorry, 5% loss. And everything before that was you guessed it. Everything that before that was a winner.
Yeah, because you're on the uptrend. Like
Oh, I'm
uptrend
sorry.
above the super moving average.
Sorry, can you tell me about that uptrend again, please?
You're above the 200 moving average.
Yeah. And this is an index, which is rigged to go up. It's not risky. It's not risky. It's not risky if the odds are in your favor. Well, I mean, you can still lose money. You're
Yeah, but
absolutely
that's
right. You can still lose money. But what happens if all your losses are small and then you build it up? What's my point? Let's do a little bit more than napkin math now. So let's pretend I want a percent a day. Okay. You don't necessarily get a percent a day. Let's just pretend you got a percent every Just pretend
weak.
you got a percent every 2 days or 3 days. Yeah, let's just do every 3 days for fun, okay? Every three trading days. So let's go back to the original equation. You wanted $1,000 a week. If you got a percent every 2 trading days, that means trades per week, weekly income. That's your weekly income. That's 2 trades per week. You would need to make profit per trade. Okay, so let's try that now. So far, so far I'm not showing you anything you don't already know. But let's see
Yeah,
what this really means.
you just pop with 1%. Is all you
All
need.
right, you
That's
need a account required. Account required. So you need 50,000. It's not 60,000 anymore. It's 50,000. Okay.
sure.
All right, but wait a minute. What's a minuscule amount, Justin, that you would say, you know what, Edmond, if this actually works, I'd be willing to insert $100, $1,000, $2,222, and give this baby a go. How much money would that be? Any number, by the way.
For that's my profit, or I'm not sure
No,
what
I mean,
you're.
how much money would you do? How much money would you be able to invest in an account to give this system a go?
I have no idea.
An amount so pathetic that if you lost it because I'm a dirty, rotten scoundrel, that you'd be okay.
$100.
$100. You drive a hard bargain, man. You drive a hard bargain.
Could have said 50.
I don't care. I'm gonna show this to you. I'm gonna show this to you really, really fast. Okay. All right. All right. So in 1 week, at 1%, I know there's this question about commission. We're not gonna talk about that for now. Your
Sure.
$1, your $100 becomes, you guessed it, $102. That's week one. Week one. Week two. And there are, you guessed it, 50 weeks in a year. 52 weeks, but I'm just going to
52.
reduce it to 50. And of course, I know the market's not consistent. Leave me alone for the next little bit.
Yeah, like let's say you're amazing trader.
Okay, so here, $100 after 1 year just became $270. So I got to ask you this, Mr. Jesse Livermore. If you were able to double your account was only at 100, now it's at 270, so it's a little bit more than double.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this question. At the beginning of year two, how much more money would you be willing to spend? Because you just doubled your account. 1,000, $500, $200.
Yeah. Let's say another $100. Like we and I don't withdraw, so it's 378. So 380 is 370.48.
So you're going to put another $100.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right, big spender.
Cautious spender.
All right. You're not 1,000. So you now taken $200 of invested cash and turned it into 1,000.
Yeah, and
Do
that's
you
in
want
two
to put
years.
any more money at this?
Pardon?
Do you want to put any more money at this? By the way, this is year two, by the way. We've now had 2 years of amazing profits.
That's a hard one. I would.
You know what? I'm going to do it for you. Are you ready for this? You talked to your mom and your dad, and you said, you know what? I'm rolling. I'm rolling. Can you throw $100 at me just because you love me? And I already know what the answer is.
Yeah, of course.
So, and then you said, you know what? I'm going to throw another $100 at this just because it's winning. Because let's be honest, $100 is a tank of gas.
Unfortunately, yes.
So you can afford to lose $100. If I ripped you off for $100, so we would no longer be friends. You'd probably hate me for a week, but would it actually hurt you?
No.
Oh,
But
I
would
screwed that one
if
up.
I do, if I see this and if these were real numbers, I'd be kicking myself at probably year 4.
Wait, hold on. Let's what happens at the end of year three.
Oh, yes, year
At
3.
the end of year three, you're now at $3,000. So you're now taking $500 and turned it to 3,000. If you wanted to be an asshole, just for fun, by the way, if you wanted to be a jerk and you wanted to say, I don't trust you, Edmond, I'm going to take my money back. All right. So you have now we need to take back I'm just going to call it $500 because you need to give back your money to your parents and you need to take your home money back.
Sure.
So voila, we're now down to, you guessed it, $3,000. That kind of sucks. That's not an income. Numerically you've done very well, but that's not an income. All right, I'm going to take this to year 5 now. I'm just going to go. I'm just you're afraid that Edmond is full of S.
But
Let's
I
put
took the initial profit out, the initial money out. So,
yeah.
but on paper, it's not really losing money. But yes, I get what you're saying.
All right, hold on. Let's see where we got here. Yeah, there it is right there. All right, so now we're going at the end of year 4, you're now at 8,000. At the end of year 5, you're at
22.
22. All right. Come on, big spender. You and I have known each other for how many years? 2018,
6,
2019?
7 years.
Sorry?
6, 7
Did you
years,
say
if not
7 years?
more.
7 years it is. So you and I have now wasted 7 years of time with each other's brand of bullshit. So what would if we knew this at that time, where would we be in 7 years?
20,000. Ooh, on way on.
So we blew past. So in years, just before year 6, we hit your 50,000, and you can now see it. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. There's your $1,000. There's your $1,000 a week.
And that's monthly, right? These are months.
This is
Like the
weeks.
update is monthly, I mean.
No, this is updated weekly because you're taking your profits every week.
Oh, this is weekly. Okay. So even more faster.
Yeah, so you're compounding faster.
What? That's
So
not tight. That's not a small amount. You just
at
take
the
one
end of
percent.
year 7, you're clocking, if you can keep it up, if the system can keep it up, and there are very blatant situations where it can't, we're clocking
150,000 or 158?
158 becomes 162 if you're clocking 2 trades a week, each trade making 1%.
It's not bad.
All right.
I think it's
So, but you're
very
saying,
good, I should say.
Edmond, how can I get 2 trades a week that give me 1%? Well, we go back to the triple leverage. All right. Let's look at this right here. Let's look at this right here. Right there at the peak. All right. Boom. All right. Yeah, let's take this one right here. This one's a nice red one. Even though this is a big red candle, look what
You
happened
can
at the
read
top.
up 1% on that one day. So
Yeah.
one and almost 2%.
Yeah. I mean, this is a 1%. This is a 1% day. That one took 2 days. Well, Edmund, what happens if you bought right there? That's a good one. We'll talk about that in a moment. Almost. That's another one that's out left hanging. All right. All these guys are left hanging a little bit. All right. So I'm just going to switch colors for a moment. That's a 1% day. I'm going to switch to the purple.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1% day. This one took 1, 2, 3 trading days. 1%. 1%. 1%. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That one's left hanging a little bit. So I'm just going to change this one yellow. This one's left hanging a little bit, but I'll get my 1% eventually.
Yeah.
1%. 1%.
No.
1%. That was an easy 1%.
Yeah.
1%.
So this is almost a regular basis.
Sorry.
This is almost a regular basis.
1%. I'm not even gonna try with these guys. I already know these are all 1%.
Yeah, they're even the green ones
And
are
by the way,
smaller 1%.
we were talking about this twice a week. 1, 2, like you can literally see this now. 1%. 1%. 1%. 1%. 1%. All right, wait a minute. They just crossed over the blue line, right?
Yes. Oh, okay. And all those come to home.
2% loss. That's a break
So
even.
it's not bad.
break
2%
even.
positive. 0.2, I mean.
Yeah.
Down
Less than a
half.
percent loss. Less than a
Down another
percent
half.
loss. 1.5% loss. Now this would have mopped up all of that. And we can keep on going, by the way.
See what?
I said we can keep on going, by the way. There's my another percent. Yeah, that didn't make it. There you go. There's my percent.
You're being picky on that one.
Sorry.
You're being picky
There
on
we go.
that one. 99%.
There's
0.99.
yeah. I wouldn't have gotten
What?
my exit. There's my 1 more percent. Nope. There's my 1%. There's my 1%. Sorry, that's a lie. There's my 1%. 1%. 1%. So, is this going to make you a bajillionaire? Probably not. Can you make the money that you seek to make? I believe yes.
Yeah, it's repeatable over time.
That's right.
And that's in the type market too. So
So, my point is very simple. We need a winning strategy where the odds are in our favor. Duh. So, an index is a very good place to start. Why? Because it's rigged to go up.
right.
Hooray, the odds are now in our favor. Now, the question is, how much money do we have that we're willing to give this a go? Which is a false question, because it could be $100, it could be $200, and I'll explain why that can actually be the case. See, Justin, do you trust Edmond enough to throw $100 at this?
Yes.
Okay, but well, Edmond can't do anything with $100. It's not a lot of fucking money. You're right. It's not a lot of screwing money. But I trust this, so I go. We got $200. I got a best friend. He'll give me $100. And when we talk to, I'm just going to make this up. All our friends, I'm pretty sure we can scrounge up $2,000 or something like that. And let's be honest, $100 is a tank of gas, and I have 2 cars, so I can really throw $200 at this. And if I can
Sure.
throw $200 at this, you might genuinely be comfortable throwing $200 at this, especially because I can prove it. So we're not really at $2,000 anymore. We're really at $4,000, $5,000, because somebody might look at us and say, "Are you kidding me? $200? I'll give you five."
At least one person.
Yeah. So we really have realistically $5,000 to start. And if we lose that $5,000, I guarantee you nobody's going to say, "You owe me my money." They're going to say, "Oh, little boy, thanks. Good for trying. There, there, there." All right.
Okay.
What's my point? If we take $5,000 and turn it into 10,000 over a year's time, like I think we will, you and I are going to be very excited to throw a little bit more money at it. And if you and I can generate a regular income off the stock market, suddenly we're going to stop talking to everybody online about trading. We're going to keep our mouths shut. We're going to see each other for coffee every other week. We're going to laugh at all the stupid things that we did before we did this. And then we're going to quietly make our thousands of dollars. We might never become millionaires. We might never become billionaires. But if we can consistently take money out of the market, that's going to be a good freaking day.
Right.
And when other people say, "Well, Edmond," or when they say to Justin, "Well, Justin, you're only driving a Corolla. If you were really rolling in it, you'd be driving a Benz." Or insert whatever. And if you're really smart, you wouldn't be making a percent, you'd be making $92,000 a day. And I know exactly what you're going to say when they say those things. If you're making regular money, you're going to smile at them and say, sucks to be me. And you're going to let them continue talking because we will have broken the code. And the code is making regular usable income off the stock market.
Right.
They might even be richer than us. They might even be smarter than us. They may be whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. If we're regularly taking money out of the market,
It's a happy
we're
day.
going to smile. Sorry,
It's a happy day.
nothing else is going to matter. And this is because you taught me how to use ChatGPT. Because I
So,
was able to trial and error strategies much and much faster.
in which I think I know what you mean by that, but how you like? Did you just make the code for the Python script, or do you want scenarios
There you go.
through ChatGPT? I mean,
There it is right there. Look at that.
right. Question for you.
There, hold on. I like that dinosaur. Let's look at my strategy, if you will. Let's look at my strategy. So this is the strategy I showed you once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah,
Account
like all
size
shows.
required $4,700 and change. $4,007 and change. How much money have I programmed this with? 47. There we go. There we go. Has a CAGR rate of 1.63%. That's
And,
almost enough to beat inflation. Kind of sucks.
and what is Keiko rate?
Compound annual growth rate.
Okay.
So if this was the Dow Jones on Dow Jones industrial average, if you bought this from the 1800s, you'd be making 1.63% a year every year. All right. So I just did triple leverage S&P 500, triple leverage S&P 500. I need $7.96 to start this strategy. So let's change that. $7.96. What do you think the CAGR rate is?
Um, 4, 400 bet. Ooh,
There it is.
why so much?
So
It's 14%.
yeah. So if you had $1 million, you'd be making 149,000 a year off the strategy. You'd be making 14% a year every year
It's not
on
bad
average.
scratch.
And I'm talking about taking that to the next level.
And how so?
I just showed you. To take a percent, so this is this is not the right algo for what I just showed you today. And this is for the monthly strategy that we worked on in the last few videos.
Yeah. Oh, is this, so the strategy you put in is that one?
Yep.
Or you want to just show me?
A simple strategy. Here. Yeah. QQQ. Or SPY. SPY. $90. $90. $90.20. 5% a year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Okay. No, I see what's going on. You turned on that indicator. I was like,
Yep. Turn it on right there. Off.
cool.
On.
Yeah, yeah.
Off. On.
Well, that's
So
good.
because you taught me how to AI code, I can now code much faster. And because I can code much faster, I can test my ideas much faster. By the way, the AI code isn't perfect. There's a lot of adjustments.
So have you? I know we have briefly touched on Codex. Have you had any experience with Codex?
No,
So if
I'm
you
still
don't
having fun.
mind,
I'm still having fun with the ChatGPT.
I mean, if you share I'll share my screen with you for a moment and give you a quick what's going on under the hood.
Go ahead.
Let's just go with this one. Okay. Boom is over. Nope. And that's where I go with sharing stuff. How do I share my desktop on here? Oh, entire
You're
screen.
not changing.
I think I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So here is Codex, which is if you have a ChatGPT account, you should have access to this.
All
So
right.
if I go in here with the AI, okay, new folder. So add an NPC server, actually, wall integration. Gives a second. I put some files in the folder. It will digest it into my computer. I'll show you what that means in a second. So this is the same folder as this project. So when I have it set up, so if I put in this picture into wall, you get put in somewhere in here. But I have it set up for every 7 hours to go through the system, like we look at the we'll say this picture, and okay, it's a picture of a man and it's not everything. It's labeled as work, so it will come here, put under work under the appropriate folder. So what's the difference between this and ChatGPT is it's local files on your computer, and you can, after you set it up, you can have it, you can put in the chat, and it will, once you hit say, like once you create it, it will post it into this folder, and after so much time, it post it into a appropriate folder. The reason why I'm telling you about this is twofold. This is actually Codex was primarily made for coders in the first place, but I use it for trying to make ChatGPT because it references my context. Like this is my context here. Old chat window, old chats, so on and so forth. And I just lost you.
I'm here.
No, I lost you on the screen. Like so on and so forth. It's all in here. So what I'm telling you about this it is a you can have a one in context of old ideas, and maybe you can ask like, given these algorithms, where am I being sloppy? Where am I overlooking obvious benefits? So on and so forth. So you can so the system can say, oh, you could improve in this format, or like you can improve here, like you're being sloppy with this idea, or anything else. Like but yeah, so it's potentially better on if you are what to test your ideas over time and your old ideas versus the new ones.
I'm still a little bit lost on the I'm still a little bit lost on the benefit.
Your benefit is you save your files to your computer,
Hmm.
and you can take it to any other provider from AI, and it saves over time.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, like, what I've done is pulled my chat history from about 2004. So, yeah, 2004, 2024 to now. I wanted through there, and I asked a bunch of questions to about what's going on. So, and it has more context from ChatGPT. So, if you have history enabled, that's good, but this is better. It's not perfect, but you can have more insights.
Thank you in advance. I probably won't be using it in the near future,
Okay.
because that's a functionality I don't need at this point in time. The functionality I need right now is to design a better algorithm to be more precise with entries and exits. And what I mean by that is right now the algorithm is only designed to do a end of day exit, which could be both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing and a bad thing all at the same time, because if it's an end of day exit, then hooray, it's actually a lot simpler to execute as a human being. It's a bad thing because I could be leaving money on the table in a bad way, right?
Yeah. And how do you code for? Yeah. How do you explain that? And how do you like? I know what you mean. Like it's your judgment call is there. You I as a trained trader, you can just look at it like, okay, that's a good move. And
Yeah.
sometimes it matters. You might have a couple of seconds to maybe a minute to make that call.
So, anywho, I, like always, enjoy our sessions. I don't think this one's going to be any is going to get any more audience than my previous videos. However, I think we should end this video with fun stuff.
What's the idea for fun?
May I show you some YouTube channels that I found funny and I would like to show you, and because it could inspire us to do something that actually gets us some girls to look at our videos.
Sure, let's see. Oh,
All
by the way,
right,
I've been doing very well. Actually, I'll pull when you do that. I'll pull up some other stuff. So
all right.
uh,
So totally off topic. Can you see my screen?
I can.
All right. All right. So let's go to my history. Come on. Oh, there's my shorts. There. The shorts are usually pretty good. Oh, what the hell? These aren't all my shorts. Yesterday. Oh, these are my shorts from yesterday. Jeez. Where's my shorts from today? There they are. No. No. Oh, this one's good.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
this guy is for some reason all his moves works on other men, doesn't work on that girl.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, this is Sarah Payne. She's probably one of my favorite speakers on geopolitics.
Okay.
but she's not fun. So we're gonna have to not include her for today. See what else is there. There has to be a good one. Oh, what the hell? I definitely watch more than this. Ah, there it is. This guy is probably the one of the best YouTube channels I've ever watched.
You visit airport?
Sorry,
Is that an airport?
it is an airport. Yes. So his point is very simple. Chinese built the Chinese government built a $11 billion airport in 4 years, and 700 square meters is roughly 8 million square feet.
Okay.
So it's a little bit larger than Terminal One. Now, interestingly enough, in the United States, now he's talking about the United States. In the United States, his comment was somehow they're cheating to build an airport that fast. They're cheating somehow.
Okay. Mm.
So this guy does a lot of shorts. This guy does a lot of shorts, and I have to tell you, they're all very good.
Right. Good.
Yeah. So let's see. What's a good one?
I think I'm going to have to pause for a second and come back. Okay.
Sure.
As soon as I'm back.
Hi. So that's all I got for you. A super
Okay.
duper trading strategy that might actually make us an income, and two YouTube channels that I just thought were hilarious.
And I'm going to show you one additional scene since we had doing off-topic scenes. I'll
Sure.
share my screen.
Oh, by the way, I bought a minivan.
By what?
I bought a minivan.
Nice.
I'm officially a dad.
You're frustrated dad. Well, that's good. Keeps you occupied. Can you see this?
All right, hold on. Get rid of that window. Your channel has had. Hey, look at that. We have 14 subscribers.
In the last 90 days.
Sorry.
That's in the last 90 days.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm up for viewership almost 400%. Yeah.
That is super duper cool. Here, hold on. Oh. Any
Yeah.
comments that are meaningful?
Pardon?
Any comments that are meaningful?
Yes. Um. I asked. I asked what agents do you use, and this person said Glock is a good agent to use. 24. I warn against using agents 124/7 because you can do that, but there's the you are responsible for its outcomes and what it does. So, you might want to monitor it. And I asked, like, what do you use? One gentleman said Glock is reliable, so that's one comment. That's about it. Like, I talked about myself being diagnosed at age 40, and someone agreed with me in a short. So, and there's our comments, but those are highlights because some people have different opinions, which is fine. But yeah, so pretty good outcome. I got a lot of likes. Actually, you can see. No, you don't see that. How do I do that? It's in there somewhere. I got a lot. I got a few likes. Yeah, so scenes are turning or doing well for shorts with me right now. I'm doing some longer format, and that's included too. So yeah,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
two good people doing two good scenes.
So sooner or later, we're gonna beat Mr. Beast.
Exactly. Mr. Beast,
You'll
we're
have to
out for
probably
you.
you'll have to be
Out for
dead,
your
but
viewership.
we'll have to still be alive. But that might be the only way we beat him. But well, one day.
Yeah, but if I've been doing what I've been doing, if I over the last 90 days,
Sorry, say
I
again.
know it's not going to be consistent. I know, but what we can apply this. I can apply this 1% every day to YouTube. Eventually, if Mr. Beast has to improve 1%, I should overtake him.
That's right.
And it's just 1% a day, not a huge percent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible.
It is. All
But
right.
anyway,
The night is getting old, and I need to go. I need to go gas up my car while the fuel is cheap.
that's a good idea. Oh yeah, and so I will leave you to do that task, and hopefully it's only $100, not $150.
I'll be pathetically grateful if it's like 95.
Sounds good.
Justin, I had fun. Thanks for wasting away the day with me.
Not wasting away. It's education, or can we say edutainment?
Edutainment.
Yeah, I just butchered that
This is
word.
what I got for you.
Pardon?
Have you ever seen Principles by the YouTube channel Principles by Bray Dalio?
Maybe.
Oh, I'm gonna show it to you.
Then
You
I'll
have to,
shut my.
right?
I'll give you back control.
You know who Ray Dalio is, right?
Yes, I do know. Yes.
All right, Ray Dalio. There we go.
Yes, I did see this one. It was an ad.
You know what? I have to tell you, this is a great cartoon. It's absolutely fantastic, great cartoon. And see, look,
Yeah.
there's a 5-minute version and a long version.
Oh, there's a longer version.
Yeah, see, there's the 43-minute version and there's the 5-minute version.
I think I saw the 5-minute version. Like, I want to know more. And I don't know what happened and right away. Like, oh, why did it go away? Never saw it again either. Well, until now.
Yeah.
But it was in sealed the compounding effects of compounding effects.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know you have to get going to get all that gas in your car, so we'll call it.
Yep. Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.